Welcome to week 5 of the Duckhorn Portfolio Chef Series. My name is Natalie Niksa, and today I will be pairing the Duckhorn Merlot with Duxelle Stuffed Mushrooms and Ratatouille. So I always start with the part of the recipe that's going to take the longest. So we're going to get going on the Ratatouille. Ratatouille is a combination of really the bounty of summer. So it's going to be eggplant, zucchini, tomatoes, onions. Garlic is optional if you'd like to use some garlic. We are going to dice all of our vegetables. So I'm just going to show you how to dice this eggplant in terms of, the size that we're looking for. And we're going to get a saute pan on with our onions and a little bit of a neutral olive oil. So I start the pan on low heat just to get it evenly heated. A neutral oil, it can be olive oil, it can be grapeseed oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, any of those. I coat the pan entirely, and I'm gonna add some minced onion. And we'll season this in layers. So as I am adding my vegetables, we're gonna be seasoning with salt and pepper. The eggplant and zucchini will come after the onions. As I mentioned, garlic is optional. We'll add a little bit for now. You want to saute your onions and garlic for about 3 minutes, and then we're going to add some tomato paste. And the tomato paste is going to add a real richness to color to the entire dish. This is called pinçage for the fancy term. So we'll fully coat the onions and the garlic with the tomato paste. And we'll start to layer our ratatouille by adding the hardiest vegetable first. So the hardiest vegetable will be our eggplant. So we'll add our eggplant. And at this point, I'm gonna salt and pepper. Just a little bit, because we'll be layering the seasoning throughout the dish. Salt always allows for the moisture of a dish or the moisture of an ingredient to be released. So we want that moisture to come out of the eggplant so that the final dish is not mushy. So while the eggplant is cooking with the onions and the garlic, we're gonna step into the Duxelle dish. For the Duxelle, we're gonna use mushrooms, button mushrooms or cremini mushrooms. These are a bit small, so these can be great for like hors d'oeuvre size. If you're wanting to serve like an appetizer, you can serve a few of these. If you want to do a main course, you can get a larger cremini or even a portobello mushroom. So the mushrooms are just going to be lightly tossed in a bowl with a neutral oil. And we are going to season these with our salt and pepper, because we want the moisture to really come out of these. And we're gonna get these on a sheet pan, a foil lined sheet pan, and these are gonna go in the oven. We're gonna check on our ratatouille. We're gonna add our zucchini. And just a little bit more salt to get the water to come out of that zucchini. And now we're going to do the base of our Duxelle. So all of the stems from the caps of the mushrooms can be pulsed. They can be chopped by hand, or if you have a machine such as a Roboku, you can actually pulse them all via the machine. I have a Roboku. It's also referred to as a Cuisinart. So I'm just gonna put all of my mushroom stems in here, and I'm just gonna pulse it. So they're just nicely pulsed. It's just a bit of a quick trick, you know, instead of all the knife work. I'm gonna add a little bit of our broth. So you can use vegetable stock or chicken stock for the ratatouille, just so that it doesn't stick and it helps, you know, cook the vegetables. So we're gonna get our second saute pan on with our butter, and we're gonna melt some shallots into our butter as we're working with our duxelle. We'll make sure that the butter is fully melted. And we'll add our minced shallots. We'll let that cook for a little bit. Once our butter and our shallots are just melted, we're gonna add all of our chopped mushrooms. Mushrooms, they hold a lot of water, so we're gonna continue to season it with salt to bring out as much water as we can from the mushrooms. And we'll let that cook a bit as well. We'll check in on our ratatouille. So right now we have our onions, our garlic, our pinçage of tomato paste, a little bit of eggplant, zucchini, and we're gonna add some fresh chopped tomato as well. And again, anytime the ratatouille, as it's cooking, if it's starting to stick, you can just add a little bit of your stock, whether it's vegetable stock or chicken stock. You really want those flavors to marry slowly. For your mushroom duxelle, we're gonna be using a little bit of white wine in the mushroom, shallot, and butter combination. So all of the water has been cooked out of the mushrooms. We're gonna add a little bit of white wine. And this just brings a bit of acidity. There's gonna be a lot of fat in this dish between the butter and the Parmesan cheese and the heavy cream that's to come. So the white wine just brings a bit of brightness to the dish. So we'll fully cook out that white wine. And we'll add a little heavy cream. The heavy cream, you really don't want it to get too hot. It will break, it will separate. So you really just want to watch the heat now. It's okay for it to be hot, but you don't want it to be like having like a rolling boil for more than, you know, a few seconds. You do want to slowly on low heat now cook out that heavy cream. And the last stage for this is going to be grated Parmesan cheese. So we're going to add some grated Parmesan cheese to this mushroom duxelle. And this will now be ready to stuff our roasted mushrooms. Before we do that, I'm just going to give a quick stir for the ratatouille. It's slowly cooking. It's looking great. And we'll check our roasted mushrooms. All right, so now we're gonna We actually can use the same roasting pan because we're gonna stuff our mushrooms with our duxelle. And you really wanna stuff them so that they're very happy. They're happy and uncomfortable in their mushroom top. It's like that feeling of being really full. And once these mushroom caps are stuffed, we're gonna put them back in the oven to just caramelize a little bit. So fun fact about the Duckhorn Merlot, Duckhorn really was the first brand to bring Merlot to the market in terms of shedding light on how incredible this grape varietal is. This is a very special wine. It is a combination of so many microclimates of vineyards. Some of the grapes are estate grown, some are grown for the Duckhorn portfolio by just renowned grape growers. It's just very luscious and rich, and really just so much about what Duckhorn is about. So we have some fresh herbs that we're gonna add to our ratatouille. I'm gonna take the stems, pull it away from the top, so I pull it in the opposite direction to get the herbs off of the stem. A light chop. I'll toss this into my ratatouille. All right, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at our mushrooms. And let's plate. So, as I said, this can be an hors d'oeuvre, or this can be an appetizer, or it can be a main course. So we have our ratatouille that can go down first, almost as like a nice sauce. So yummy. And because the mushrooms are smaller, I'm gonna do a few. So I'll serve 3 right on top. And you can sprinkle a little bit of that Parmesan cheese as the finishing touch. I love extra virgin olive oil, so I will also use an extra virgin olive oil, just a little drizzle. It just brings this dish all together. So there you go. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.